Gods just be dicking around. Like, he's 12 and had like 2 weeks of training. What is going on? Hello friends and book babes, welcome back to the channel and our second installment of my series that I'm doing where I read books popular from my childhood for the first time. And if you didn't watch the first episode video, the first video, we did Hunger Games, so I'll have that linked down below if you want to check that one out. But I'm so excited for this next video because we're going to read the Percy Jackson series. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited because I genuinely am having that experience that all of us wish we could have, which is rereading your favorite series for the first time again. And what I mean by that is my teacher used to read this series to us when I was like in 5th grade for downtime. That was like
15 years ago.
That's scary. Yes. But yeah, that was like 15 years ago. So I don't remember anything really. I don't even know if we finished the series. I don't know if we only read like the first 2 books. I honestly, if I were to guess, I think maybe the first 3. I don't think we ever finished it. But been so long. Truly, all I remember is Percy is a demigod. His dad is Poseidon. The casino scene, but I really don't even remember what happens in the casino scene. I just know there is a casino scene. And Medusa, the Medusa scene. That's like all I remember. I'm really excited to get into this series, especially since the show is out. Listen, I'm literally still on chapter 1, but I don't know why I'm surprised. I literally said I don't remember anything, but I genuinely don't remember any of this. When was Percy in a boarding school before this? When was he a troubled child? I think I'd be this confused. Like, what the hell? Each chapter has like a title, and I haven't read a book where the chapters have titles in so long. Like, it truly feels like I'm being transported back into like my 10-year-old self, because I feel like that was definitely a bigger thing when I was 12, 10, 12 or whatever. Maybe it's a bigger thing for like middle grade books, and that's why I feel that way. I don't know, but that took me back for a second. I was like, what? I was thinking about the fact that I said that Percy Jackson was my first book boyfriend. And, you know, as a 24-year-old woman reading this while he's, 12, I just want to clarify that he was my first book boyfriend when I was 10. Okay? I'm sure all of you are smart enough to know that, but I just felt weird and feel like I need to clarify that. Technically, a grown adult wrote this book, but the writing style of it is so like Percy is telling us this story. It's not Rick. It's Percy telling us the story. And I just find it so fascinating and like I'm just so impressed with like the writing in the head of like a 12-year-old, because like the description of her eyes began to glow like barbecue coals. It's so simple, but also the best way to describe it, because I genuinely was like, oh, her eyes glowed like that. Okay, I got it. I understand. It's just so good. She was a sandcastle and a power fan. She exploded into yellow powder, vaporized on the spot, leaving nothing but the smell of sulfur and a dying stench and a chill of evil in the air, as if those 2 glowing red eyes were still watching me. Ma'am, I thought I was reading middle grade. That was giving everything. That gave everything that needed to be given, okay? Freaking even Sarah J. Maas herself couldn't have wrote that. That was amazing. Bro, the way this middle grade book is already having me in shambles over a pen too, my guy. Because what do you mean? In page 13, he says I was alone. There was no ballpoint pen in my hand. Right? right? Page 14. He goes up to his teacher. The teacher looked up, a little distracted. Ah, that would be my pen. Please bring your own writing utensil in the future, Mr. Jackson. I handed Mr. Burner his pen. I hadn't even realized I was still holding it. 'Cause you weren't. Or were you? What is happening? Freaking 15 pages in. That was chapter 1. I just finished chapter 1. What is happening? Page 93, I just started chapter 7, I believe. Yeah, 7, and they just mentioned capture the flag. I don't remember anything about capture the flag other than, like, my brain is like, this is a big deal. For whatever reason. And I recognized the character Luke for some reason. I think that's who Annabeth has a crush on for a while or something. I don't really know, but whatever. And I need more authors to maybe take a page out of Rick Riordan's descriptions, because I've never understood a description as well as in a middle grade book like this. And maybe that's a me problem, but like with Sarah J Maas over here, half the things she be saying, they just go over my head. I'm like, I don't know what we're doing, whatever. But with Percy, I'm like, I understand every single thing we're doing. Thank you for describing this so well. So that could be I only have the understanding of a middle grade level book, or maybe these other authors are just making things too complicated. I don't know, it could be both. But yeah, so I'm enjoying it a lot already. I did not remember that thing that happens with his mom happened, so I'm kind of shocked and dismayed, and I'm really interested to see if we can still hold out hope that she's okay. Me remembering the first book is called The Lightning Thief, and just realizing that that's the plot. That someone stole the lightning bolts thing. Yeah, okay, cool. You know, they really expecting this 12-year-old to go to Hades, to hell, essentially, steal back a lightning bolt, and then also go to Olympus and give it back to Zeus in 10 days. We think YA books be doing the most for 17-year-olds. Middle grade is insanity. He's 12. He's 12. Just found out his dad is Poseidon. Doesn't know anything. Like, what? This is crazy. But also, I have to say, all of my Greek god knowledge, Greek mythology knowledge, has always really been from Percy Jackson. And I just learn new things, like, throughout the years and stuff like that. And I have to say, I'm glad it's mythology, because these gods kind of suck ass. Like, it's not even that they're, like, bad. It's the fact that, like, they're not even god-like at all. Because, like, what do you mean Zeus couldn't help himself and just had to get with this one girl and break a treaty oath thingy he did with his brothers to not have any more demigod children? What do you mean he couldn't help himself? He's Zeus. He's like the god of the gods or whatever. And this human girl really had you tripped up? Like, that's kind of embarrassing when you think about it. Like, you're that pathetic. Anyways, these gods are very useless. It's giving these gods just be dicking around. And that's it. Whatever. And just like that, we have finished book 1. I can watch the show now, which is going to be great. And I want to rewatch the movie just to see if it really is as bad as I remember. Also see what they took out, because I literally remembered nothing but the casino scene and the Medusa scene. And that's like it. So I just want to see the tea. But as a 24-year-old reading this for the first time, but like not really reading it for the first time, I have to say I give it 4 stars. I think I believe I was a Percy Jackson kid, so I would assume when I was 10, if I knew what a rate, if I understood the rating system, then I would have given it 600 stars. But now as an adult, I probably would give it 4, which is still really good for a middle grade book as a 24-year-old. Like, that's a pretty good rating, let's be so honest. I just feel like the final battle with Ares was kind of like whatever. And then like obviously I saw Luke being the one to kind of get like, you know, I kind of expected that because I was like, I know my girl Annabeth and my boy Grover, they ain't about that life, okay? So I knew it had to have been Luke. So I did guess some things, even though I don't remember most things. Like who? Like who? I this. How do you say it? Cronus. This Cronus god or whatever, Zeus's dad. I did not realize he was going to be more significant in the series because I genuinely thought when I was reading the story of him and the brothers, I thought this was like brand new information for me. Like I thought this was the first time I was hearing about this god before. But he's actually like gonna be a thing for the series, which was surprising to me. Okay, color me surprised, color me shocked. I would not have guessed that. So I still think even as an adult this book is really good. I really enjoyed it. I do feel like it could have been a little bit shorter. Like it's only 375 and like middle grade size, so that's like pretty small, but I feel like it could have been like 320. Like not a whole lot taken out, but a little bit. YA books always has like a 17-year-old girl with purple hair, the only competent character in a room full of adults, and she's like the only person that can save the entire world, and the world is resting on her shoulders, which is so funny. But like we really got middle grade books where we're having a 12-year-old fight a literal god. Like like where's the smoke for that? Like that's crazy. Like that's crazy. Like he's 12 and had like 2 weeks of training. Yeah. Next book, Sea of Monsters. Let's get into it. It's actually taken me a while to start Sea of Monsters because yo girl got a big girl job now and we work in 8 to 5. I really wish it was 9 to 5 at least, but it's 8 to 5. So when I get home, I literally just want to like lay in bed and watch TV and do nothing, you know? So it took a bit, but once I finally picked it up, bestie, I'm sat. I'm already on chapter 10. No, I'm on chapter 11 after like 2 days. So it's great. Literally less than 300 pages, which is probably another reason why it's like going by so fast for me. But I couldn't tell. I have nothing to say. That's the thing. Like that's the reason this is the first time I'm picking up the camera, because as fast paced and easy as this one is to read compared to the first one, I have no notes. I have no comments, no concerns, no theories. I have nothing. Not one thing worth saying on camera has came across in my brain while reading this book, which is why I'm like, which one's better? I don't know. I like the fast-pacedness of this one, I like the plot of this one, but I don't know if I like it more than The Lightning Thief. Head empty up in here when it comes to Sea of Monsters. I have nothing to say, but just know I am reading it, okay? Just know that. Finally finished the second book, Sea of Monsters, and I have to say, I think I'll probably give it a 3.5 stars. I originally was going to give it 3 stars because it's good, but it was giving filler episode vibes to me, and that's like the best way for me to describe it, because a filler episode is important and it's good. but it's not the meat. It's not the thing you're gonna go rewatch all the time, And that's what it was giving. I felt like the plot wasn't that whatever, and yeah, the first one was a little bit slower to read compared to this one, but I think I just liked the world building and like learning the new story, even though it's not that new to me. And like, I don't know, I think I just liked the nostalgia and the vibes of the first one more than this one. I still enjoyed it. I still had a fun time. Anytime I would pick it up to read, I'd end up reading like a good 30% in one sitting and be like, oh, that's a lot, It just took me a long time to pick it up physically and say, okay, I'm gonna read, I was originally gonna give it 3 stars, but then the ending happened, and I was like, okay, you deserve a 3.5. I think that's what you deserve. So yeah, it's time for the next one. So the third one is The Titan's Curse. How many pages is this one? This one is 312. So shorter than the first one, longer than the second one. We're gonna start this one soon after I finish some Libby reads. So I might not start this one till March, which won't matter to y'all because you're gonna get each book in one video. Lucky you. Okay, sorry for the terrible lighting, but it's been a few days, and I'm almost 50% through with The Titan's Curse, and I'm finally not exhaustingly tired to where I can't tell you some thoughts. I am congested, though, because allergies. So, I'm loving the Percy and Annabeth little foreshadowings or whatever that we're getting right now, because they're like not around each other right now, but Percy's like intense desire to get her back, I'm living for it. Talia, I don't know how to say her name. Thalia, I don't know how I feel about her. She could be cool. I feel like if this book wasn't a book for children from like early 2000s, I would totally think that Zoe and Tyla were going to end up together, because it's giving the perfect enemies to lovers right now, at least from their first meeting. But I think if Talia lives, I think it's going to be her and Grover, probably. I don't know. I don't really remember. But I do remember Nico. So when Nico showed up, I was like, oh my gosh, I know you. I don't know how or for what or why or what you do, but I know you. I recognize this name. So I definitely have read this one. I'm also surprised that we haven't heard Annabeth talk about like how her being blonde makes her like insecure or something, because like how people think blondes are dumb or whatever, and she is like smart and all those things. Like I remember that being a thing, right? That hasn't been mentioned like at all yet. So I'm like waiting for that to happen, but like that was such a big part of her character, I think, because like even I remember that being like a big thing, a big deal for her. So yeah, I don't know. So I'm waiting on that, but really nothing else to say other than that. So I'll let you know if other things pop up. Listen, it's Saturday, so I went to a coffee shop and read for a little bit, and it was nice. I felt like a human being again to do something other than be at home and work. So that was nice. But that meant I couldn't initially react to the fact that Bianca and Nico are like 80 years old. Actually, that they were in that hotel thing that like morphs time or whatever for like 70 years. Oh my gosh. What the heck? And also, she better not actually be gone. I didn't really care about her that much. For some reason, I really remember Nico's name. So I feel like in my brain, I was like, okay, Nico is who I care about. Nico's important, whatever. And then I found out that they're like 80, and all of a sudden now I really care about Bianca. And now Bianca's possibly gone. She better not be. No one's ever truly gone up in here. So I'm hoping for the best. But also, we met Rachel finally. Just for a split second, it wouldn't look like she has
that much of a part in this, but also she can see that Riptide is a sword and not a pen. But it still didn't slice her up and kill her because she's immortal. A mortal, not immortal. She's a mortal. So, like, what is she? Like, I knew Rachel shows up just to make some drama with Percabeth or whatever. But, like, that's about all I knew. But since she causes drama with that, I just assumed she was also, like, a little demigod or something. But she must be something else. I don't know. So, very intrigued with that. I got to the part where he was talking about how Aphrodite is, like, literally the prettiest woman he's ever seen in his life and couldn't even describe her. He was just like, think of your favorite hair color, think of your favorite eye color, and that's her. Like, just think of who you would think is your ideal lady, and that's her. And then he said she kind of looks like Annabeth. and then Aphrodite calls him out on it, and he's like, what are you talking about? Love? What do you mean? I love it. I'm liking this one. I wish there was more Annabeth in here, but her not being involved is invoking the ship to sail a little bit or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, those are my thoughts right now. That's not all. I forgot to mention that Talia and Grover, I think I said this in a previous clip, but I think Talia and Grover are going to be the ship, which I will enjoy for sure. I would love to see Grover in a cute little relationship. But I don't know. The enemies to lovers of Talia and Zoe just sounds like it would eat so hard. So I'm kind of like, I really want that, but I know it's not going to happen. Wonder if the huntresses could date each other, because I know the rule is no boys allowed at all. Didn't say girls though. All I'm saying. What is going on? What is happening right now? Oh my god. What the heck? Rick Warden, you gaslit me into thinking you weren't the killing off of characters type. And then we get to book 3 and you're just killing off everybody. Like, what the frick is going on? I didn't even care about her like that. Like, I liked her, but, like, did I that much? No. That was the saddest thing I've ever seen. What is going on? I don't like this. Percy was standing on business, holding the sky like that. Like, what? What? He really did that. Percy's insane. Percy's 14. Oh my gosh. It's like when you realize that Azula from Avatar The Last Airbender is 14 doing all that stuff. That's what this feels like. Also, some of y'all might call me a little sissy, a little wuss, but I do feel bad for Atlas that his burden is to carry the sky. Like, just forever? Like, that's insane. That's insane. Like, no wonder he got beef with the gods. I would too. I did not think a Percy Jackson book would make me cry. I think this is the first cry over a book of the year, actually. And I definitely didn't think it would be a Percy Jackson book. I'll tell you that right the frick now. She's finished. And bro, I knew not to truly believe that Luke was dead. But I was like, damn! Luke and Zoe in the same page? Golly, Rick! Like, that was kind of crazy. But Luke is not dead. Bianca and Nico are not only like 80 years old, but their father is Hades. Insane. I have to say, it took me a while to actually read this book because life just be lifing, you know? And it's hard to be an adult. It's hard to have a full-time job and read books a lot, you know? And so because of that, I thought that I wasn't going to enjoy this book as much since it was taking me a while to read. But I have to say, this one is probably so far my favorite of the series. I think I'm going to give it 4.5 stars because the initial experience of reading it wasn't like 5-star worthy. But this last sitting of me just reading like the last 4 chapters were so good that I have to at least give it 4.5. So I highly enjoyed this one. Talia standing on business and becoming a huntress. Didn't see that coming, but I probably should have. I guess that means her and Grover are not going to be a thing. So kind of sad about that. I'm glad she's standing on business, but I am just a hopeless romantic, so I don't want her to stand on business. But obviously Zoe dying really crushed my dreams of having Zoe and Talia have a little enemies to lover sapphic romance, even though I knew that wasn't going to happen. Now it for real isn't going to happen. Any hope at all is now lost for sure. It is time for the 4th book. We're getting close to the end, guys. Percy is going to be 15 in this one, which is kind of crazy. Battle of Labyrinth. That's what we're about to start. I'm wondering if Rachel's in this one more, because we did finally meet Rachel, but only for a brief moment. So I'm wondering when she's coming around. I'm wondering if I like her, if I hate her, or was she really just in here for half a second? And I just remember her for no reason. But I think the thing I liked the most about the Titan's Curse were the little crumbs of Percabeth, because I think this is the book where the ship is really starting to be built. I like it for the plot. I liked pretty much everything about it. You know, I liked the new characters that were introduced. Everything about it was pretty good, is what I have to say. So, yeah, 4.5 stars. So far, the highest rated one. So, now we shall read The Battle of the Labyrinth, which I'm very excited for. I feel like, because something about the title makes me feel like I really like this one. Obviously, we're getting close to the end of the series, so I think these last 2 are just going to automatically be really highly favored in the series. So I don't know, I'm excited. Let's just get into it.
To a coffee shop yesterday and read 60 pages of The Battle of the Labyrinth, and I'm enjoying it a lot so far. I do have to say I'm excited to explore the Labyrinth lore, because I questioned in my head if this was the same Labyrinth I knew about from the Ariadne story, and it is. So I'm very excited for that. I did read a Ariadne retelling like a year or 2 ago, and so I know a lot about Ariadne's story, and I think his name is Theseus or something. Dionys? I don't even know how to say his name. But Dionys, he's Mr. D in this series. I really like Mr. D, and I think I like him solely just because of that retelling. Even though the retelling, I'm pretty sure they like break up. Mr. D and Ariadne in the retelling, which is why I hated the retelling, because I actually shipped them really hard. The fact that I have read a retelling, and so now I know some Greek mythology lore that has nothing to do with Percy Jackson, is making me more excited to read what Rick Riordan is going to do with this one. So, yeah, I'm really excited. What I'm most excited about, though, is Nico and his villain era that he might be on. I'm very excited for that. And I'm excited and nervous and have a lot of anxiety over when people will find out that Nico is Hades' kid, because I'm sure that will happen at some point. Oh my gosh, not Percy getting butterflies from hugging Annabeth. He literally says, I stepped forward and hugged her. Butterflies started turning my stomach into a mosh pit. Shut up. Shut up right now. The end of chapter 4. Someone might die? What do you mean? You see, before, if this was like book 1 or 2, I would have been like, they'll be fine. But after book 3, and Rick said, okay, I'm not afraid to kill people off now. It's about that time. Now I'm terrified. Now I'm scared. I'm still not over Zoe's death. If in the show,
If they changed it and made Alia and Zoe like a little enemies to lovers, I would not be mad at that. I would not be mad. I'm just telling you that right now. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. One thing Percy is always gonna do is stand on business. Even if that business is literal shit. Literal shit. Percy is better than me, man. I don't know. What do you mean? What do you mean you're gonna clean these stables that haven't been cleaned in thousands of years? Percy's better than me, okay? He's the best of the best. Because what? This being in the labyrinth and everything, and even seeing Theseus jump scare, ugh. But like getting more of that story of Ariadne and everything is making me want to reread that retelling to see if maybe now I would like it. Rereading the series, I was under the impression that the only type of Greek mythology I can handle is if it is Percy Jackson or something YA, because I just get bored, because I didn't even like Song of Achilles. Don't come for me, okay? I didn't care for it. But I feel like the series is making me start to have like a little bit of a hyperfixation on Greek mythology a little bit more. And so now I kind of want to reread Song of Achilles and Ariadne to see if maybe now, with this new lens of Greek mythology and this refresher, I guess, of Greek mythology, if maybe I would enjoy it more. So I don't know. I think we might start with Circe, because I haven't read that one by Madeline. I forgot what her name is, but she also wrote Song of Achilles. I feel like I would like Circe, because Circe also made an appearance in one of the books. So her story just seems like it could be a fun little retelling. So I don't know. I kind of wanna tap more into the Greek mythology realm a little bit more. So if you guys have any recs, comment down below for sure. I think Greek mythology just pisses me off because it's so mortifying. Because when Hera showed up, I was like, oh, that's Zeus's wife, right? And so I googled it. Tell me why it said that he like literally wanted her. She's his sister, first of all. He wanted her and she didn't want him. And so then he like turned into like a bird or something, and like and so she was like admiring him as a bird, and then he turned back into himself and like literally essayed her, and she was so ashamed that she married him to like cover her shame or whatever. What the oh my god, like that's the type of Greek mythology that just be around, and I think that's why I like YA better, because they're not gonna freaking talk about that crap. Zeus is the worst. All the gods are the worst in Greek mythology, let's be so for real. But my gosh, I just finished chapter 11. We got a kiss. I'm in my head it was a kiss on the cheek because it was kind of brushed past pretty quickly, but I'll still read it to you because I'm giggling and kicking my feet still, because it says, she kissed me. Be careful, seaweed brain. She put on her hat and vanished. I probably would have sat there for the rest of the day, staring at the lava and trying to remember what my name was, but the sea demon jarred me back to reality. That man was in awe. That man was in awe of what just happened. He was dumbstruck. I seriously just had to look up how to pronounce Hephaestus, because my brain sees this and just wants to say hepatitis. That's all my brain sees when I see that name. So Hephaestus. Hephaestus. I have about 100 pages left of the 4th book, so we might finish it tonight. If not tonight, then tomorrow, which will show just how much I'm enjoying this one, because I started Saturday and it is currently Tuesday. Yo girl might finish this on a weekday. That's insanity. I don't think I've done that at all yet with any of these books so far. Like, it takes me pretty much the weekend to catch up and stuff. Really enjoying this one. And I don't know. I have no thoughts right now. I'm hoping for the best. Rachel and Percy scenes don't make me giggle and kick my feet the way Percy and Annabeth's do. I just love, they're so cute. Okay, anyways. But the reason I say I do kind of like Rachel and Percy is just, it's like they would be cute too, type of thing. But I'm not giggling, kicking my feet over them the way I would with him and Annabeth, if that makes sense. You know, like, I don't know. They really gonna end it like that, dog? Oh my god. Okay. The last, like, 50 pages, I had a lot of thoughts, but I couldn't stop to, like, get the camera and, like, have thoughts spoken. You know, I just had to keep going. I think we have finally found the first 5-star read, not only of the series, but of the year. It is literally almost April currently while I'm reading this, and I have just now found my first 5-star read. This one was so good. Oh my freaking god. Okay. I'm sensing a pattern with Rick now, that he's okay with killing people off. It seems like he likes to kill 2 people off per book now. Granted, this one, both people that died were like literally 2,000 years old, so it shouldn't matter as much. But I was still kind of sad, you know. It was giving the originals. It was like, I know you've lived a long time and you should definitely go, but I'm still sad to see it, you know. Daedalus. I'm glad he got his little happy ending, or whatever you want to call it, in the underworld. The scream I scrumped when Dionysus finally showed up. I'll reenact it for you. Hold on. It was literally, I literally went, yes! Finally! Like that. That's what I did. I missed that man so much, and I don't know why. I don't know what this attachment is that I have to him, but I'm so glad to see him. And he helped Chris with his madness. Oh my, I just love him. I don't care. I love him. I love him so much. He's been one of my favorites since book 1. I love him. Poseidon showing up. I was literally brushing my teeth and I was like, huh? Huh? What are you doing here? Absentee father. Okay. I'm so upset. I can't wait. To get into the last book. We're finally at the last book, guys. Oh my god. I can't believe this. This was amazing. I'm so glad we were in the Labyrinth. This random attachment I have to the Labyrinth story is odd, since I gave the retelling of Ariadne like 2 stars. I really need to reread that retelling now, just because of this. But yeah, I enjoyed this book so much. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. And it's, how am I gonna forget the Luke thing? It makes so much sense that Kronos or whatever took over Luke's body. Or whatever the heck he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. It's the fact that during that chapter where that's revealed, right before, I was like, okay, I know they're trying to stop Kronos from awakening, but for the plot, there's just no way that's not gonna happen, because we need to like watch them actually like go to war and defeat him, right? And then that exact same chapter is when he wakes up, and I was just like, wow, I really just be speaking things into existence. I really am the director. I am the writer of the story. Nico might be the most powerful demigod I fear. I actually don't fear. I'm so excited for him for that, you know? But it just feels wrong saying that when you're reading Percy Jackson. You know, you feel like you're supposed to be like, Percy Jackson is the most powerful. It might be Nico. It might be Nico. I'm sorry. I'm actually not. I love that for him. 5 stars, guys. I'm obsessed with this one. We'll be starting the 5th book, The Last Olympian.
Hey guys, it's the next day, and I just wanted to say that I realized on Goodreads that there is a novella in between the 4th and the 5th book, The Demigod Files. So I found it on Libby. It was available, so I didn't have to wait. So I read it on there, and it only took me like an hour and a half. I read it basically during lunch and a little bit of a slow period during work. So I read that, and I liked it. It's you know, your regular novella. There wasn't really a need for it, but it was like a cute little fun story, and there was some moments with Percy, which I definitely enjoyed. But yeah, it was a cute little moment or whatever. I just gave it like 3 stars. It was fine. When I saw the table of contents, there's 23 chapters. Every single book before this one has had 20 chapters. The cycle comes to an end. And also, the last chapter is called We Say Goodbye. Sort of. I don't think I'm ready. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't read anything at all. Maybe I should just prolong this for as long as possible. I think Rachel's adorable. Obviously, it's Percy all the way. But that doesn't mean I have to hate Rachel. Like, what? At this point in the book, Percy literally looks like Logan Lerman. Therefore, yeah, shoot that shot, girly. Percy now has the curse of Achilles or whatever. That's interesting. I absolutely loved the scene with Hades and Persephone's mom. The like little mother-in-law banter was so funny. It was so funny. I loved it so much. I miss Nico, number 1. I miss him. I want more of him. Like, I get why Percy doesn't trust him, but like, I just want to see him. I love Nico. I love him so much. Also, Zeus being a total asshole, color me shocked. I'm so freaking surprised that Zeus is arguably worse than Hades. You can't believe it. Oh my god. Annabeth just freaking took control of a helicopter like it was no big deal. She's insane. And I love her for that. She said, seemed easy enough. I think I could figure it out. And she did. The way I screamed, I knew it! When it was revealed that Selena was pretending to be Clarissa. Just for the next page to say that she was also the spy? I didn't know that. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I wasn't even thinking about the spy. I was just like, they'll tell me when they want to. I was not using my brain at all. Like, I didn't spend any time thinking, like, who could it be? You know? Like, I genuinely was just like, I'll find out when I find out. So I had no suspects because I didn't feel like thinking. What the heck, bro? That was so sad. Luke. That was this. Why is a kid's book making me cry this much right now? Oh my gosh. That killing 2 people off per book rule does not apply to the last one. Which I wouldn't expect that it would, but my god. You killed someone off in like the first chapter or the second chapter. I don't even know. And then you kill off the girlfriend, and then you kill off the guy, whatever his name was, Ethan, when he finally decides to switch up. That's like double. Oh my god. Rick doubled his death quota. Nah, because Rick really didn't have to add that in here. He really didn't have to say that. Like, why do you have to say that, though? I'm in shambles. Nah, because can we talk about how much of deadbeats these gods are? Because tell me why Percy is literally just like, hey, claim your kids, you know? Let your kids know who their parent is. Don't let them just wander around the camp being unclaimed, you know? And like, let's make actual cabins for each god so those kids can like have their own cabin and not all get stuck in Hermes cabin. And tell me why they're like, you ask for a lot, Percy. Like, that's a lot. Like, sir. They are such deadbeats. It's insane. The king Percy is, though, for negotiating that. He said, why would I want to live forever? I don't want to peak in my sophomore year. Are you crazy? He's so real for that. I was thinking, like, what if Rachel like can prophesy and be the oracle or whatever, and now she freaking is. Now she freaking is. Now she freaking is. What a segue. Is the prophecy she just said, is that like for Heroes of Olympus, or is that for Trials of Apollo? I feel like it's for Heroes of Olympus. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Because I'm gonna have to read everything Rick Warden has ever written in his life now. I will take a break so I can read other things. But oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just read everything he got. So tell me what order I should do this in. Dare I say Percabeth is the best slow burn to ever exist? Dare I say that? Oh my god. And just like that, we're done. Just like that, we're done. I think, you know what? I'm going to have to marinate on this one for the star rating. So I'll see you tomorrow during my entire wrap-up. Alright, friends, it's the next day, and also probably one out of the 2 times I look presentable during this entire video because it's after work. But I wanted to give my final thoughts on the Percy Jackson series. So I did notice that I don't think any of these books got less than a 4-star other than the second one. Every other book in this series got at least a 4-star, if not higher. So that's pretty good, number one, especially for a kid's like series and reading it as a 24-year-old and still having such high praise for this series. It's so good. First book, The Lightning Thief, I gave 4 stars. I think it was a really good setup to the world building and the plot and everything. Like introducing you to these characters and everything. Just this first starter of the book was really good. I really enjoyed it. Second one, like I said, I gave 3.5 stars. Still pretty good and is the lowest rating of the series. So yeah, like I said, it was giving filler episode. But I like that we were introduced to Tyson. I love Tyson, so can't complain. And then the third one is when things started to get really good, okay? This one, honestly, if I wasn't in such a terrible mood, like just because of life, while reading this book, I might have ended up giving it 5-star, like if I was in a better headspace while reading this and didn't take so long to finish it, it could have been a 5-star as well. So a reread will be in order at some point, but I gave it 4.5 stars. It was pretty much almost a 5, but it wasn't giving me that 5-star feeling. I'll be honest, this one might be my favorite of the series, and that is the Battle of the Labyrinth, the 4th book. This is the first 5 stars of the series and of the year. So I highly enjoyed this book. It's one of my favorites, I think, because with all the other books, I feel like a good 100 pages, 120-ish pages is all just introduction and leading up to the main plot of the series or the book, specifically what the book specifically is going to focus on. I feel like this one kind of was a little bit more fast-paced with it. It definitely wasn't to the level of the 5th book, but I think we really got into it a lot quicker. I was familiar with the Labyrinth story, and like Theseus and all that stuff. I don't know if it was that, and so like the nostalgia of it made me, and like the knowledge that I already had associated with it made me like it even more. It could be that, I'm not too sure, but yeah, I really highly enjoyed this one. This is also when like Kornos or whatever his name is like things start really going in this one too. So I really liked this one, and I think it's still my favorite right now. And then on ebook on Libby, I read The Demigod Files as well, which was kind of like just a collection of short stories and interviews and stuff. So it was a cute little read. That one I also gave 3.5 stars. Really enjoyed it, but you know, it's just like a little novella. There's like no real substance to it, but I did have a fun time. Lastly, The Last Olympian. This was also 5 stars, obviously. It was such a good way to end the series. I enjoyed it so much. Like I've mentioned, this one, there was no introductions. By chapter 2, someone was already dead. It was crazy, and I loved it. There was just action every single chapter, and I loved it. I loved it. I love Nico. I love Nico. I want a series about Nico. I'm hoping that one of these series that Rick has is about Nico, just because I really love that little demigod. So yeah, I enjoyed this. The sacrifice towards the end, so good. And the slow burn of Percabeth was everything. I just loved everything. I loved everything about this book. I felt like it was like an out of body experience reading this book, because I feel like I vividly remember a lot more of Battle of Labyrinth than I do The Last Olympian. So that's like the main thing that makes me like prefer the 4th one more, and like that one's being my favorite, but I still really enjoyed this one. This is just such a good series, no matter your age. You know, like obviously the first and maybe second book are a little bit more on the juvenile side of things, but then it progressively just gets better and better and better. So considering these are children's books, the font's smaller, it's faster to read, I would definitely say to just power through to the 3rd book. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I think if you're an adult reading this, you kind of have to give it that grace, or at least put yourself in the mind of like a kid, which is what I did, which is why I still enjoyed the first 2 so much. But truly, the bread and butter is 3, 4, and 5. Okay, those are like my top ones, and I just really enjoyed it. I am definitely going to end up reading pretty much everything Rick Riordan has ever written in his life. Tell me down below the order I should go. If I should read Heroes of Olympus next or Trials of Apollo. I think it's Heroes of Olympus that's next, and is probably what that prophecy was hinting at towards the end. That's what I'm assuming. Yeah, I highly enjoyed this series, and I'm so glad I read it. Probably gonna be one of my favorites. I can't wait to watch the show now. I actually waited until I finished the entire series to watch the show, which is kind of dumb because I probably could have just read the first book and then watched the series, but whatever. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Comment down below your thoughts or anything you want, really. Make sure you guys follow me on all my socials, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Meet me on the street lights. Meet me where the lights fade out.